The demon looks upon you and screams out, "Give me your mortal souls!" And as it does so, you see flames wreathe all about. What do you wish to do? Can you repeat that again? How's it going, everyone? And welcome to No Fun Allowed's How to GM series. And today we're going to be talking about voices. Voices are something that is truly iconic to role-playing games. They allow you to role-play. That's something that a lot of people seem to forget. That role-playing is playing a role. And sometimes when you're playing a role, you adorn a new voice. But the thing is do you actually need to put on a new voice? Now, I've played in a fair few number of games, and I've DM'd a lot of games. And I have interacted with a lot of different people, and I can tell you that there is no one universal answer. There is many people that do not put on a voice when they're playing D&D. They simply go ahead and say their part with their voice, and that's the end of story. But of course, there's a lot of people that dive into it. They get super into it, start meandering about, moving with their body, and expressing themselves with their voice. And either way is perfectly fine. But it is something that you need to discover what you prefer best. Now, me in particular, I love some voice acting. I love getting into character. I love moving all about. I like putting on the voice. But the reason I do it is because when I put on that voice and I start putting on the expressions that the character would have, it puts me into the mindset of the character so much more. And it allows me to truly role play out a character better than if I was just to express my own regular voice. This style works for me, and it certainly works with all my players. And what's very important about the voices is my players know who they're talking to. Are they talking to the DM, or are they talking to that NPC? Having that distinction really helps the game keep its pace, and it really keeps the game moving forward, because they will be interacting with that lovable NPC they know and love that talks like this and totally has this lovable voice. And having that voice there, it makes it feel like you are no longer staring at this GM, but you're staring at this NPC, right? And you get to have those fun interactions that you normally would have to take a few moments, just a few fractions of a second to try and get over that hurdle if I was just using a regular voice. But I'm going to tell you, that works for me, but I know for a fact it doesn't work for everybody. Some people just, quite frankly, don't want to get that into it, and that's fine. For a lot of people, role-playing games aren't about the voices. They're about playing the role of a character, and that character doesn't need to have this outlandish facade of a voice. Sometimes characters can just say and do their part, and that is far better role-playing than simply just putting on some silly, crazy voice. In fact, for a lot of people, putting on that voice puts on sort of a mental hurdle that they have to overcome in order to fulfill their character's wishes. And to that degree, acting with a voice will actually get in the way of proper role-playing with that particular character. And something very important to note here is it's not necessarily about the voice of having a crazy high pitch or a high tone or, a high resonance. It's not all that. It's about the implications of the words that you say. It's not about how you say the word. And so to that degree, I say, do what is best for you. Don't automatically tell your players immediately that they have to do voices in order to play in your games, and don't discourage people from doing voices in your games at all. Allow them to do what is most organic for them, because if you do that, you're going to get the earnest expression of whatever it is that they desire. Allow them to truly roleplay their character. And obviously, that is in the eye of the beholder. Do they think that they'll be able to get more out of their characters, whether you are acting as NPCs or if the characters are acting as PCs? Are they going to get more out of that if they are using a voice? Or are they going to get more out of it if they spend more time thinking about the words that they say and the things that they do? The majority of us are not theater background people. The majority of us are not full-blown actors. So the ones of us that do put on a voice, we're doing it just for that little bit of escapism and fun. Isn't that the whole reason why we play these role-playing games? To just have a bit of fun? Fun is something that is always subjective. And I know I have a ton of fun when I use my voices, and I know all of my PCs that do that have the same reaction. And the ones that don't do the voices, they have the same reaction as well. They play the way they want to play, and that's okay. So go ahead and tell me, do you use voices in your campaigns, or do you not? Is there a reason why, or is it just you don't want to do them? What about all your players at the table? Do they get involved and use voices as well, or do they not? Or do you have a combination of the two? Do you have some that use voices and some that don't? Go ahead and tell me all these things because I want to know. That is going to do it for me, though. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all my amazing patrons up here. You guys are absolutely incredible. Thank you so very much. That is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one.